Welcome to Spoonful of Om's Calm Class with me, Gina. Circle around out to the side and to the backs of the thighs and rock yourself up, or you can roll to the side and press up. And once you're up, cross the ankles, bringing your left ankle in front of the right, just so we remember. We're on the same side. Hands come forward in front. Walk the hands forward as you move down. Same tilt to the pelvis as we did seated in Gomukhasana. The hip bones are moving down. The pelvis is drawing down and back. Maybe the forearms come to the floor. Inhale to press into your hands. Walk the hands over to the right side. The right hand stays down to the floor and the left arm sweeps past the left ear as you move into a side bend. And on your exhale, release the hand down. Walk your hands over to the left side. Left hand comes down. Right arm sweeps past the right ear for a side bend. And exhale, right hand comes down. Walk the hands back over to the right. Sweep the left arm past the left ear. And exhale, left hand comes down. Walk the hands to the left. Plant the left palm. Right arm sweeps past the right ear. And exhale, right hand comes down to the floor. Come back to center. Hold here. Inhale as you walk your hands back. Bring your hands behind you. Bring the feet forward in front. Press into the feet. Stay here, reaching the chest forward, or option to lift up into reverse tabletop. And then exhale as you lower down, bringing your right foot in front of the left this time. And hands walk forward in front. Coming down as far as feels comfortable to you, but seeing if you can pull the chest forward as the hip bones tilt downward. And this time we'll start by walking to the left first. Left hand stays down, right arm passes the right ear. Coming into a side bend, lowering the right hand, walk the hands over to the right side. Left arm passes the left ear. And lower the left hand down, come back over to the left side. Right arm passes the right ear. Lower the right hand down, walk the hands to the right. Left arm passes the left ear. And lower the left hand down, walk the hands back to center. Holding here. And inhale as you walk your hands back. Bring the hands behind you, feet come forward. Option to stay seated with the palms to the floor, lifting the chest forward, rolling the shoulder heads back. Or press down into your feet as you lift up, moving into reverse tabletop. And then on your exhale, lower the hips down, cross the ankles, or swing the legs out to the side as you come onto all fours. We'll tuck the toes and come back into downward facing dog, lifting the hips up and back. Letting the midline of the heels draw down toward the mat, press the floor away with your hands and pull the lower ribs back toward the spine so we don't dump into the lower back. And on your inhale, shift forward, bringing the knees to the floor. Toes are tucked and sit back into child's pose with tucked toes. Find a little bend to your elbows so the forearms release down onto your mat. Inhale as you come up onto all fours, walk your hands forward, lower the chest down to the floor, lower the forehead to the ground. Feel the hips draw back in space and let the underneath of the arms come down toward the ground. On your inhale, take your left hand next to your face. Press down with your left hand and reach your right arm up toward the ceiling. And then bring it out to the side, just off your shoulder. On your exhale, thread the right arm through to the left side. Right shoulder comes down to the floor, left arm extends forward. And then staying here, bring the weight toward your right knee and extend your left leg back. Point the toes so the top of the left foot comes to the floor. And then on your inhale, drag the left foot over to the left side as far as you can. Maybe the left foot comes in line with the hip, maybe it's a little bit lower. And then bring the left leg back behind you. Cross it over a little bit to the right side. And then reach it back out to the left. And left leg comes behind you a little over to the right side. And bring the left leg back out to the left. And cross it back. And lower the left knee down next to your right. Bring the left hand to the floor, press into your palm. And bring the right arm just out to the right side off your shoulder. Reach the right arm forward past the right ear and then lift the arm up. Feel the lower ribs draw back as the arm rises. And then exhale as you sit back into child's pose. And just take a moment to notice how the right side feels compared to the left side. Inhale as you come up onto all fours. Reach the left arm out to the side and up. And then take the left arm in line with the shoulder, holding here. Reach through the fingertips, press into the right hand so we're not sinking down. And then thread the left arm through to the right. Right arm can extend and pass the right ear as an option. And take your right leg behind you, point the toes, shifting the weight into the left knee, finding balance. And then right leg sweeps out to the right side, dragging the foot along the floor. Maybe the leg comes in line with the hip. And then let the right leg come back, move over to the left side. Just crossing over a little bit behind your left foot. And reach the right leg back out to the right side. And sweep the leg behind you, maybe a little bit over to the left. And reach the right leg back out to the right side. And sweep the leg behind you a little over to the left. And bring the right knee down to the floor. Bring your right hand next to your face, press down into your hand as the left arm comes out next to the shoulder, not all the way up toward the ceiling. And then reach the left arm forward, lift the left arm up and hold here. And on your exhale, lower the hand down as you sit back into child's pose. And inhale as you extend your arms forward, Asta Balasana, come up onto all fours, tuck the toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Letting the midline of your heels draw downward toward the mat. Letting the head be heavy, press the floor away from you with your hands. And taking a couple breaths here in down dog. On your inhale, shift forward into plank. Draw the tailbone under, shoulders move over the creases of the wrists. Fingers are spread evenly. And on your exhale, let your knees come down to the floor underneath the hips. We'll come into lion's breath. So on your inhale, you'll move it into cat pose, arching the back up toward the ceiling. Press the floor away from you. And on your exhale, tuck the toes, lift the chin, belly drops down so you're moving into cow. Stick out the tongue and cross the eyes. And inhale as you arch the back up toward the ceiling. Draw the chin in toward the chest. Press into the floor. Move into cow as you tuck the toes. Drop the belly. Gaze forward. Stick out the tongue and cross the eyes. Arch the back. Come into our lion's breath. Tuck the toes. Belly drops. 2 more. Arch the back. And last one, arching the back. Coming into a neutral spine, and let your hips move and wiggle from side to side. And as the hips move from side to side, right hip comes to the right side, right elbow drops down to the ground. And lift up, left hip moves to the left side, left elbow drops down. And moving back and forth like that. Now the elbow doesn't have to come all the way down or forearm. You can bend the elbow toward the floor. And then come back to center. Move the knees back a little bit. Tilt the hips forward and roll down the front of the body as you bend the elbows. Inhale, reach the arms forward, press into the floor and lift up into this low seal pose. So the lower ribs stay on the ground, making sure the shoulders aren't creeping up toward the ears, but you're pressing the shoulders and shoulder blades draw down the spine. Holding here, feet are at least hip distance apart. So if the feet are close and you feel this pinching in the back, let the legs come a little bit wider. It might release there in your lower back. One more breath. And then on your exhale, lower yourself down, cross your hands underneath the forehead, turn your head to one side, resting here a moment. With your head turned to the side, you can turn the toes toward the long edges of the mat. Your chin can come back to center as you move into crocodile. The legs are wide, so at least hip distance, maybe a little bit wider, coming toward the edges of the mat. And inhale, as you bring the feet back to center. Hip distance apart, bring the arms behind you. First, bend the elbows and interlace the hands behind the back. And then on your inhale, lift your head and chest and begin to straighten the arms as the knuckles pull back toward your heels, keeping the tops of the feet to the floor for now. And then on your exhale, lower the forehead or chin to the floor as you relax the back muscles by keeping the hands interlaced. And inhale, lifting your head and chest back up. Draw the knuckles toward your heels and lower down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. And inhale to lift. And exhale to release the arms. Turn your head to the other side, resting here a moment. And tucking the toes. Bring your head back to center. Hands come next to your chest, pressing yourself up. On your exhale, sit back on your heels, Vajrasana. Option to take a block and sit on a block in between the heels. And on your inhale, reach your arms overhead. And on your exhale, send your right arm back and your left arm forward. Reach the fingertips away from each other as you use the abdominal muscles to turn and to twist. And inhale, arms rise back up. And on your exhale, twist to the left. Left arm back, right arm forward. Reach the arms away from each other. And inhale as you reach the arms back up. On your exhale, fold down into child's pose. Arms or hands come down by your sides or underneath the forehead. And then once you're there, allow your shoulders to melt down toward the floor. And feel as if the shoulder blades are cascading away from the spine. And on your inhale, begin to extend your legs out long toward the front corners of your mat as you move into our final resting pose of Shavasana. Arms can come down by your sides with your palms facing up or in toward the body. You can take a bend to the knees to help support the lower back, creating less sensation in your back with the inner knees moving to touch. And then once you feel nice and comfy, and bringing your intention to your feet and your ankles, and start to soften through the muscles. Noticing if places are tense or if the muscles are hardening. See if you can begin to soften and allow them to liquefy. Moving that sensation up through the legs, the hips, the lower back, the upper back, the abdomen, the chest, the shoulders, the upper arms, the lower arms, and into the fingertips. Allow the neck and throat to relax and soften. And soften through the muscles of the face, around the eyes, the lips, the jaw, and the mouth. And softening through the tongue. And on your exhale, see if you can give yourself permission to move a little bit deeper into your Shavasana. And on your inhale, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rotating your wrists and your ankles. Reaching your arms overhead for a full body stretch. And exhale as you pull the lower back toward the ground. Bring the knees in toward the chest as you wrap your arms around the shins. And rolling onto either side, resting there a moment. And then taking your top arm, pressing yourself up to sit, Sukhasana. Crossing ankles or shins, bringing your hands onto your knees or resting them in your lap. And take a moment here and to thank yourself for coming onto your mat this morning to practice. And we'll end with the sound of Om, taking a deep inhale. Om. Thank you so much for joining Calm Class.